Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Star Wars The Waiting Howl, a tabletop role playing game set in the Star Wars universe without the tabletop because it's covered in COVID 19. I'm joined again by my lovely players. I guess the fact remains to be proven. And we are back ready to to do some manual labor and some good old fashioned seek and find to clear our names of horrible crimes against a city. Yeah, if I could get everybody to give us their name and their character name again, just for new people jumping on the bandwagon here. Let's start with Silith.
Hello, this is Clayton. My character is a Barabel thug named Silith, and he likes to take big things and smash them into really little things.
That is true. I have seen it. Next, let's go with Dennis.
I'm Dennis. I play Rory Kell. He's a male human mechanic. I guess the technical term is tinkerer.
And then let's have Raccoon.
Hey, Internet. It's Raccoon. I'm playing as Pontus Kaiso, a human bounty hunter who used to be a stormtrooper. He doesn't afraid of anything.
And Rona.
That is Rona. My character is Sasul Ebenvar. He's a Nautilin Jedi Sentinel. Very likable and very, very gullible.
The two go hand in hand. And normally we have our doctor, Akusk Natal, played by Lord Magnuson, but he's not with us today. Still alive, don't worry, but he won't be with us. And unfortunately, our spy, our Pantoran spy, Chisam Ryo, will be unable to join us for the rest of the campaign. So we bid a fond farewell to them. We hardly knew ye. All right.
So it's just going to be the four of us, unfortunately.
Yes, the least interesting party members, but we'll make do.
Hey.
Oh, I said the quiet part out loud again. Sorry. So let's have a little bit of a recap. So last time that we were all together, you guys, along with Commander Isri, inside the Rainbow Wretch Tavern, had just taken care of a little, let's call it a kerfuffle. I mean, I think that's a pretty nice term for it, with Jumka, Bornim Jumka, a surly Nikto, a green Nikto, who worked for Krovesk Medjev, a crime boss in the area, and a recent life ruiner of Silith. So Jumka shows up into this tavern, this cantina, and sees our friend Silith and says, there's a man that I can behead and bring it back to my boss for brownie points. Unfortunately, it didn't go as he expected, as the party quickly essentially knocked him unconscious, and in the process thought they could sort of get away scot-free, but the governor of Bugakont, the city, the settlement they're currently in, along with some personal guardsmen, showed up and had them all arrested for crimes against the city. Basically, incitement of violence, double parking, blah, 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 and had them hauled away to his manor. There, of course, the governor, Mr. Sham Montrose, using the kerfuffle at the cantina and the fact that Silith had recently severely injured his dilettante son Garl and put him into a coma, essentially strong-armed the party into a deal. He said that the party was kind of bound at this point to go out into the wasteland and to find a scout that had disappeared in the process of investigating an illegal spaceship landing out there. And if they were to figure out what happened and to report back to him, then that he would consider the crimes swept under the sand-covered rug, if you will. Unfortunately, part of that bargain was for the party to remain inside the manor and be confined to basically a hallway where their bedrooms were. And they were essentially forced to stay for the evening due to a sandstorm that had rolled in and was covering the town. During the evening, they awoke to screams and sounds of violence. They quickly figured out that one of the guards people, a poor man named Payton, had gone out to investigate something on the manor grounds and had been attacked by a giant spider. This spider had severely wounded him, but thanks to the heroics of our party, he was able to be saved, brought back inside, and is being treated for his horrible, horrible injuries. Now, the governor happened to see this and was grateful, even offering Silith a hearty handshake and giving him a newfound respect. But as the night has turned into the next morning, the deal still remains to be done. So that's where we are now. You guys are at Governor Montrose's manor. It's a new day, and he has made sure that you can get a hold of some supplies before you leave to the wasteland to find this scout.
I think the list we created here is 5 first aid kits, water and field rations, 5 blaster packs, so basically extra ammo, repulsor lift toolkit, since he's going to loan us a repulsor lift, or a speeder, sorry, and macro binoculars, because I think our bounty hunter wanted a pair. Yeah, help him look. Some rope, and when we find the guy, some handcuffs. Did I miss anything?
I mean, I'd like a super cool new blaster pistol if they're offering weapons.
Well, I don't think they're gonna like completely restock us, but these items just made sense on, hey, we're gonna send you out at least here to help it be successful.
Yeah. What kind of governor doesn't like give super cool adventurous guns? Lame.
Probably
might as well-
governors who kidnap people out of the bar to have them do his dirty work.
Yeah, it's a good idea to harass the governor in the middle of his own manor, where he's filled the holes with guards that are on his payroll. Yeah, good idea.
Lame.
So it's early in the morning. You all rouse from a somewhat troubled sleep, given the events of the night before, and go in the process of presenting your desires to the governor. He, of course, forwards that to a scruffy-looking quartermaster that he has set up in the manor. And eventually the quartermaster gets back to you and says that they can probably handle all of your requests, but with some caveats. It looks like that on hand they've only got 3 medkits available instead of the 5 that you asked for.
That's fine. We were just asking for 1 per person, but if all they have is 3, that's fine.
Yeah, it looks like 3 is the maximum they have right now. You could conceivably go into Bugakant proper and try to find a merchant or a dealer of some kind to try to get extra, but that's all they have on hand at the manor. Otherwise, the rope, the manacles, what were the other options there? Something to do with the speeder?
Macro binoculars, repulsor lift toolkit,
Now
and then 6 spare blaster packs. I'm sorry, 5 spare. Well, is the doctor going with us? If the
doctor
doctor's going
is-
with us, 5 spare blaster packs. If it's just us 4, then 4 spare blaster packs.
The doctor is going with you, but as a Force ghost.
Sure.
Yeah, so they're similarly, they're a little bit chapped on supplies. They're only able to offer the 4 blaster packs, but the speeder toolkit, the rope, everything else is being taken care of, and so that is being piled up by some guards outside in the speeder, which is actually waiting outside on the manor grounds.
Cool. That was my main concern with supplies. If you guys have anything to add.
I think other than a shower to get all this ichor off me, I think I'm good.
Well, he said it's the next morning, so
Yeah.
I'm sure you would have showered.
Well, let's not.
And
jump to
one of our,
conclusions.
yeah, then again, yeah. One of our players brought up a good thing earlier, or before recording, was I guess some of us have the haunted flaw or burden. So,
That is
yeah.
true.
so they should probably roll for that now.
Yep, it's a new day,
Yeah, it's,
so
I think that's just me. So
roll a single d6 and tell me what your result is.
a 5.
A 5. So that, you are outside of the range of any of the point values. Yeah, so you are not overwhelmed currently by your memories of a traumatic past or your the one time that you said you too when the guy said enjoy your meal and he wasn't eating. So that's gone. Yeah, so you are free and clear in your mind.
Nice.
So you've all gathered outside of the manor. You take a look at the admittedly junky-looking speeder. It's sizable enough to fit, the whole complement of you. It looks like that Commander Isri, still in his sort of nightwear, is scratching his big eyes, and he is standing there at the threshold along with the governor. And it seems like he has no intention of joining you to actually go into the wasteland. It seems like he's just going to kind of stick it out here. So as you're all piling and making sure that the equipment's in the junky speeder, the governor walks up to address the lot of you. Well, I hope your needs have been taken care of.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Well, that's good to know. I don't want you going out there unprepared.
Well, we appreciate it.
Yes, and to be clear, I appreciate what you did for young Peyton last night. It can't have been easy facing down a horrible beast like that, and he's certainly grateful, although in his current state, his prospects, at least to him, seem quite dark, so it will be some time before he feels properly thankful, if you understand my meaning.
Yeah, I get you.
Oh, before you leave, one other thing. Now, I've given you the location, the presumed location, of the illegal spaceship landing and where my scout was headed to investigate, but I've learned something interesting. Now, I happen to have an old friend in the area who was something of a renowned chemist in his day. I asked him to take a look at some of the blood we recovered from poor Payton last night, and, well, his findings are rather surprising. Now, you must understand that attacks of that nature from a creature like that are very, very unusual. Sure, the creature is a predator, to be sure, but they never wander into the manor grounds or Bugakont proper. They usually have enough sense to stay away from a civilized area, even if they are hungry. But something was amiss with this one. Apparently my friend, after some chemical analysis, determined that it was being affected by some kind of neurotoxin. Something was affecting its thinking processes, its sensory abilities, to confuse it, to provoke it to come into the area and wreak havoc. I think this might have something to do with a report I received yesterday about a man wandering into the middle of town with one of his limbs missing.
Well, that's interesting, and that's good to know, because we don't know what other beasties are out there.
So we just might encounter more of those damn things out there. Hostile ones.
That's correct. They dot the landscape of the desert pretty thoroughly. But, as I said before, though they are predatorial, they are not this reckless, havoc-wreaking. And not only did we discover this presence of neurotoxin, but also a closer examination of the body of the creature seemed to indicate that it was blind. And not only that, but forcibly blinded. We saw cauterization marks around the eyes. There was some sort of intentional effort to blind and perhaps even torture this animal. My concern is that there's something waiting out there in the wasteland that, seeks all of us harm. And you would be wise to watch out.
Steel is getting worse all the time.
You wear these clown shoes, ride around on a motorcycle, and from now on you'll be known as Shirley.
Well, we'll keep an eye out. We don't have much choice.
That's right, you don't. But I sympathize with you nonetheless. Now then,
Yeah, I
don't
bet.
want to burn any more daylight. Off you go. And with that, he sort of turns on his heel and heads back into the manor, wearing his, fine smoking jacket and silk pants. And of course, left at the entrance is Commander Isri. Good luck, and I hope you really get them, folks. You're gonna go out
Pontus
there
is-
and
Pontus is going to get out of the speeder for a moment and just quietly talk to Isri and say, "You sure you want to stay here?"
I can't say it's my favorite vacation destination, if you get my meaning, but I would much rather be here where there's, lots of other people and food and water and all that than out there in the sandy sand.
Look, Isri, Force knows that bastard is going to pull if you stay here. It might actually be safer if you come with us. Like, we got space in the speeder.
Look, I'll be straight with you. What was your name again? I'm sorry.
Pontus.
Pontus, right? Pontus. I'll be straight with you, Pontus. I'm not really what you might call a field agent. I'm more of let's say a delegator, a supervisor, if you will.
A barfly.
We all imbibe from time to time, I think. Yes. Anyway, I don't really do the whole running around with a blaster thing. That's not really my expertise.
Well, if you say so. Pontus jumps back in the speeder and he goes, "All right.
have Eep with me.
Yes, of course. Eep the Jawa.
Yep.
All right. So
And
if there's nothing further, then you guys are ready to go. You've you clambered into the junkie speeder, and you're ready to head into the wasteland.
I sit in the driver's seat.
As they're driving along, Pontus is going to go, oh, great. You got tangled with Medjev and his stupid thugs, and now some desert spider conspiracy. Great.
So,
Go ahead.
Excuse me, I'm tripping over my words here. Rory. So, Rory, you are there at the driver's seat of the speeder, and you rev it to life. You can see the repulsor engine activate, and it begins hovering off of, the multicolored sand of Bugakont. And as you start to pull away, you seem to hear Commander Isri, who's still standing there at the door, at the threshold, sort of grumbling and mumbling, and then he actually picks up a little bit and starts jogging after the speeder. Wait! Hold on there! Stop the thing! God, I don't want to run any more than I have to.
All right, I'll stop and let him in.
It just occurred to me that, it would be safer for all of you if we got to my ship and used the sensors to try to find the scout in this other vehicle. Otherwise, you're just wandering about around here in some piece of crap, ready to be eaten by the next spider or sandstorm, right? And I would prefer that nobody break into my ship unless it's me. So, I guess I'm coming with you.
Good choice. Awesome.
And I would prefer this mayor not thinking that we're trying to skip planet and shoot us out of the sky.
Right. Well, we'll send him a message. We'll let him know that everything's hunky-dory. Listen, I just give me a few minutes. I'm gonna go back inside and put on some proper clothes. just 2 minutes, and you see him sort of shuffle off. In the meantime, you see as Commander Isri heads back inside the manor to head to his room to change into sort of proper desert combing clothes, if there is such a thing. Crossing paths with him on the way out are two guards that are wrestling with a clearly bound and gagged Jumka. You can see him sort of like slobbering on his sort of cloth gag. He is flexing his biceps and moving his arms, trying to break himself free of the manacles, and the two guards are having a hell of a time just getting him pointed in the direction that they want him to go. He, in his wild-eyed frenzy, takes a look around, sees the lot of you piled into the speeder, and like a rabid dog on a chain, rushes forward towards the speeder, spittle flying and, muscles straining. You can see the nerves in his face as he is just... and the guards are struggling to just pull him away and dragging him back, kicking up sand and dust, and they are leading him back into the town proper.
I'm going to give him a salute from the speeder.
You see his eyes bulge out a little bit, and you can see the shrieks hit a new octave. few moments later, Commander Isri comes out in his usual his fatigues that he was wearing in the cantina before, and he hops into the speeder. And as he does so, he sees the three walking back towards Bugakont. Oh, I see they didn't drop him off of a cliff or something. Well, there's looks like democracy is still in effect here. That's good to know.
Seeing their own handiwork is one of the best parts of bounty hunting, I swear.
I'll say what?
Nothing. Did it.
All right. So what I want you to do for me, Rory, I would like you to give me a driving check, please.
Driving. 9, 10, 15.
15. Yeah. Okay. So you settle your grip on the I guess the wheel is not the right word. The controls, let's say. And you shoot off with the speed of the repulsor. It's clearly not, again, it's a junky speeder, not top of the line, so you're not getting the kind of speed and travel that you would like, but it's a hell of a lot better than walking. You zoom into the wasteland. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and it's better than nothing, and if we decide to reappropriate it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a lot more useful than trying to bang two rocks together to get space travel. So you rush down the sort of sandy raised elevation that the manor is on, heading into a valley, and you begin working your way through the multicolored sands of the tall wasteland with the hot sun bearing down on you, sizzling. Already you can see that Commander Isri has loosened the collar of his fatigues and is actively sort of wafting as much air into his face as he possibly can.
Well, we will head in the direction that... Oh, wait, are we going to Dude's spaceship? His is in the opposite direction, isn't it?
It is not in the opposite direction, but it is off. It's a clear diversion from your journey, right? You essentially have to, at I would say a 60-degree angle off a straight path to this location where the illegal ship should be. Yeah, you have to sort of hook off to the left and travel out that way. So you're going to get a much longer journey to get there than you would if you were just going straight.
Sure. Well, unless everyone disagrees, I will head towards Isri's ship.
I mean, like a good idea.
Go for it.
Sounds good to me.
See, everyone's so supportive. All right, so again, you speed through the sands of Tall. You are making your way. You pass by crags and rocks and formations. You see the occasional sort of strange lizard-like creature or woolly predator as they're just sort of, weaving away and trying to either seek shelter from the heat or hunting out the poor, smaller creatures that are scurrying around in the sand at this hour. Let's see. Oh. You suddenly notice that the entire desert has gone quiet.
It's quiet. Be quiet.
My brain isn't pounding anymore. So cleared my system.
So it's very eerie, and it seems like every all sentient life in the desert has simultaneously died.
Someone snapped their fingers.
Oh, and they're back. All right. So you've made it about halfway through the journey towards Commander Isri's ship, with Isri, of course, giving you regular uh, updates. Turn here, don't go that way. And eventually, like I said, you find your way about halfway there, and this is, of course, a rough estimate. When you begin to hear what sounds like a low, shaking, thudding, bassy sort of sound. It's beginning to rise slowly. It's very faint at first, and then it gets louder and louder. And at that point, it has actually gone over the din of the speeder noise, and is actually, sort of tickling your ears at this point.
Does this noise sound like it's heading towards us?
It sounds like it's all around you.
Oh no.
Pontus is going to say, "What the hell is that noise?"
Hey, Pontus, take these macro binoculars and see if you can see anything, and I will slow the speeder down.
Okay, yeah, you dial back the throttle a little bit, and you get on a kind of a cruising speed, while Pontus, you grab the newly acquired macro binoculars. Where do you look?
Pontus actually has a pair of binoculars already, so he's going to.
Okay.
Oh,
then
okay.
I
Well,
will-
they're not good enough for you. All right. Well,
I think I requested those as like an extra pair for somebody, but anyway, Pontus is going to search in 360 degrees, just perform a survey of all the space around the speeder.
okay. Then please give me a search check, right? And then do so at disadvantage, because you're basically trying to get a thorough search of 360 degrees of space.
Pardon me, like, how does disadvantage work again?
Disadvantage means you have lost one dice.
Oh, okay. So
whatever your search code is, and obviously when you roll that, that'll include the destiny die, right? But one of those die has to be removed because you're at disadvantage.
yeah, 17.
17.
Easy.
Good. All right, so you get out your own personal macro binoculars, which are custom made, and it's the good French shit, I guess.
Imperial issue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's made by fascists. Great. Super. And you stand up in the middle of the speeder and sort of scan the horizon 360 degrees. So you sweep off to the right. Again, you basically see nothing but what you've seen for the past, half an hour. A glittering sand, sort of as far as the eye can see. Heat lines and the dark sun sort of bearing down on you. And as you twist around and start looking towards the rear of the speeder, you catch a glimpse of what looks like rivulets of sand moving. They seem to be almost like squirming towards the speeder at a high speed.
Pontus is gonna just yell out, "There's something in the ground. It's coming towards us." Oh,
Get back on the speeder, and then once he basically gets to where if I punch it, he won't get thrown out, I will punch it,
Okay, give me
and I will head in
another.
the opposite direction of this thing.
Oh, well, I had assumed you would turn around and head towards it.
Yeah, yeah.
Give me another
we
drive.
gotta. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Give me another driving check, please.
I was going to say we got a Jedi Sentinel. We can handle it. He has no lightsaber though.
I got a sword. Good enough.
It's just
Pontus
push him
got
out
tilted.
and then let him deal with it.
16.
16. Very good. Okay. Yeah. So you effortlessly increase the throttle, and you're pushing this thing basically as fast as it's gonna go. You can actually hear sort of the shaking metal and the strain of the repulsor engine as you increase speed, and it very quickly you sort of cap out. You realize you've sort of hit the upper bound of this thing. And still, you notice, Pontus, as you've been sort of keeping an eye on the rear, that these rivulets of sand that are tracing through the ground towards the speeder, and these are pretty sizable rivulets, mind you. These are as if somebody had stretched a very long length of thick corded rope and was sort of just waving it around snake-like behind the speeder. These rivulets are very quickly catching up to you despite the speed increase.
Silith will pull his heavy blaster pistol out and try to get a shot off if they get close enough.
Okay, so yeah, so you're readying up. You turn around, you get your pistol ready, you sort of brace yourself on the frame of the speeder to get a little bit of fixed aiming and a little bit of reinforcement. Again, the rivulets are snaking closer and closer, and you see that almost like a sinkhole essentially opens up very close to the rear of the speeder, and you can see that the rivulets essentially converge at the sinkhole, and then what emerges is this long, we're talking 50 meters of fleshy, pinkish, muscled material in the shape of what looks like a giant sinewy worm. You can see that it doesn't seem to have any eyes, and its body is riddled with small sort of writhing tentacles and strange spines that look almost like fangs that are sort of poking out of its skin at irregular intervals. And this thing opens up its wide maw, and you can see this massive, muscled, ropey tongue that is actively sort of shooting out and craning in your direction. And it continues. It hits the desert floor with a thud, spraying sand everywhere, and continues to gain on the rear of the speeder.
Well, that's not a. You know what? Let's try it. I want to try to using the force. I want to try to slow it down. I'm assuming that's going to be something like alter.
Let's take a look. So, I would say alter would qualify here. Yeah.
All right, come on, 1D. I need the 6. It's a 5.
So you got a 5 in total.
I only have 1D in the force. Yeah, I
Oh.
got a 5 in total.
All right. So you close your eyes and you sort of reach out with your hand, intent on slowing this thing down, and you feel out with the force. You feel yourself getting in touch with the lifeblood of the universe, and then you feel a sharp stinging as you open your eyes, and you realize that the creature that is writhing behind the speeder is actively shooting out these strange fang-like protrusions from its skin, and one of them is actually nicked your hand. You can see there's a little bit of blood coming out, and these fang teeth projectiles are essentially whizzing by the speeder. Sort of, it's essentially peppering you with these projectiles.
Ooh. Yeah, nope. I'm getting down then. Forget that.
Are we in the middle of a desert, or is there some mountains I can drive to?
You can see
Some
that
rocky formations. Sorry.
there is some rocky terrain off to the left-hand side in the distance. You could probably get there. It's about 20 meters away.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm gonna drive in that direction.
Okay, you hang a hard left and zoom towards the sort of rocky outcropping there in the distance, and sure enough, this fleshy worm-like creature makes that same hook and continues to wriggle towards you, again shooting out these small sort of fang-like protrusions, raining them down on the speeder. Can I get everybody to make a dexterity check, please?
Okay.
Well, there's my 6 on the destiny die for 12.
Yeah, I got a 9 with a 1 on the
18.
destiny die.
A 9
Oh,
with a
no.
1. Okay, so we got Pontus
You got
with a 9
18 in
on
total with 6.
Oh, an 18 was 6. All right. Rory?
I got 10.
10 for Rory. Silith?
Got a 12 with a 4 on the die.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Yep, that's everybody. Oh, well, let's roll for Commander Isri, too. Let's not forget him.
What about the Jawa?
Oh, the Jawa is invincible. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
And right now, so is the
Like, what
doctor.
gonna happen?
Yes, the
Yeah.
doctor is also he's a Force Ghost, so he can't be harmed. He's like Keith Richards in that way. So, Pontus, you in response to this second volley of teeth-like projectiles, you try to duck down and you end up sort of twisting slightly. Oh, hey, it's the doctor.
The good
Welcome.
doctor's awake.
Welcome, doctor.
Hello.
Yeah, he posted. He forgot it was daylight savings.
Ah, that'll do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, there was no change in time here, so I was in class up until half an hour ago, and I was in my way home.
No problem. No problem. Well, it's good that you're here now because you're in a speeder being chased by a weird, muscly worm thing.
Just my luck.
Yes,
Emphasis
absolutely.
on weird.
So, again, this volley of like teeth-like projectiles is raining down on the speeder as you are punching it and trying to get away from this thing chasing after you. Pontus, you try to take cover in sort of inside the frame of the speeder. You end up twisting a little too far and you find yourself off balance. You begin to fall out of the speeder, sort of pivoting on your hip off of the frame. But at the same time, Sasasul does essentially the same maneuver, pulls the same mistake, ends up also pivoting on hip. And the two of you sort of, instead of falling out individually, end up colliding together and falling back into the speeder. You're now sort of slightly tangled up like a game of Twister.
Sounds like a 1 canceled out of 6.
Yeah, dude. Or my 6 canceled out your 1. I saved you.
Well, you know, let's not split hairs here. So the rest of you managed to successfully sort of duck down. Rory, you obviously do so while still sort of holding onto the wheel and the controls and making sure that the speeder is again moving at maximum velocity, or you know, it's maximum.
Yeah.
You again feel the speeder begin to sort of shake and shudder, and you can hear every sort of component part of it whine and scream at you. There's a sudden popping noise.
Uh-oh.
And there is a plume of smoke, now a black, thick smoke, now exiting the right-hand side of the speeder.
Guys, whatever you're going to do it. The speeder's about to die.
Yeah, very quickly, Rory, you see that the speeder is now like, it's doing that classic sort of kind of noise as it, you can see that it is rapidly losing speed. And you're only about halfway to the rocky outcropping in the distance.
Pontus screams out above the wind noise, "This deal is getting worse all the time!"
I was waiting for it. It's not my fault.
Wasn't even supposed to be here today.
I understood that reference.
I have a dumb idea. It might work. I want to try to parry all the little projectiles around us so my party members don't have to worry about it.
Okay, yeah. I tell you what, so roll your force die for me, please.
All right.
Whatever your
Definitely.
maximum skill is in that.
Oh, 1D.
Yes, all 1D. Roll all 1D of it, and tell me what you get.
Okay.
It's one die more than the rest of us have.
That's
It's a 6.
nice. Okay, with that pretty damn good result, I will say that you you clamber up onto the back of the speeder and take a sort of defensive stance with your weapon drawn, and using again sort of getting in touch with the force, you are actually able to provide a pretty solid sort of shield of parrying as you are knocking out a great majority, not all, but a great majority of these projectiles out of the air as they are whizzing towards the speeder. So the rest of you, thanks to Sassasul's efforts, are not going to have to worry about getting pegged by any of these teeth missiles anytime soon.
Okay, can I stand up and declare a blaster shot?
You mean like in a rules of order kind of way, like all in favor of a blaster shot, say aye, or?
I don't know. I was like, saying it like the rule book says it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can fire if you want to. Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
You don't have to stand. I'm sure the speeder is open.
No. Let him stand.
Okay.
I want to see where this goes.
Is there any
So now-
disadvantage?
So now he's at minus 1D because he has to balance and shoot.
Well, if
So
you
what?
Luckily, he doesn't have to dodge any of those teeth missiles.
that is true. Yeah, that would make things pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any disadvantage or straight blast?
It depends.
So
So,
what-
are you actually sort of standing up in the speeder and trying to fire at this thing?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then you're having to
Oh,
compensate
yeah.
for the speeder's fluctuating speed and the vibration and everything. So yeah, that would be at a disadvantage.
So while he fires, can I roll Synology and see if I know something about this creature that might help us, a weak spot or something?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay, let me get my
Silith would
dice.
like to shoot for his tongue.
I was going to do that, but I am driving, so I didn't
Yeah.
have time to turn around and go, let's see, where's a weak spot on him?
Well, I guess you
Shoot
can
him.
get out like
Shoot him hard.
a hand mirror and sort of try to fire back that way. Okay, so Silith and Pontus, both of you, make me a blast check, please.
I got a 16.
16 for you. Okay,
I got a 24 with a 4 on the Destiny die.
nice. So both of you hit. Please roll damage.
Let's go.
And I rolled a
Okay.
17 on my check.
17. Okay, so let's deal with the damage first.
Sure.
21 for Silith.
I forgot. You do destiny dice for damage?
Yeah, but it just doesn't. I mean, it just doesn't count for anything.
Okay.
I mean, not usually anyway.
21 with a 6 on the destiny die.
That's exactly what I got.
That's nice.
Don't forget about your force points, guys. The whole one that everybody has that we can use once a session.
Okay, so 2 very solid hits. Silith, you're actually successful as this thing is now within, let's call it chomping distance of the speeder, as it is now beginning to slow down to a crawl. This thing opens up its maw. It doesn't seem to have anything in the way of teeth exactly. All of them seem to be on the outside of it rather than the inside of its disgusting maw. But the tongue is clearly there. And it is trying to essentially swallow the speeder whole. It begins to open up its massive maw and reach out and try to chomp off the back end of this speeder. But you strike it, Silith, right in the tongue. There is a burst of what looks like some kind of disgusting fluid. There's a sizzling noise, and you hear this noise as it rears back, and actually it stops the chase. It actually gives you a little bit of time to sort of putt forward in your slowly dying speeder. You manage to sort of put a little bit of distance between the two of you. Similarly, Pontus's shot strikes the side of its head, essentially. There's another sort of hollow roar out of this creature. And it's at that point, Doctor, hearing that roar and then taking a look at this creature, you know exactly what this thing is. This is a larval version of a sarlacc.
Oh no.
Yeah, it is essentially the very early life cycle sarlacc, before it has settled in and gotten old and created this sort of pit for itself, right? And acted almost like a trapdoor spider. Instead, it is now the fast, aggressive predator with a beaked mouth and the tentacles and everything like that, that it is in its youth. And it is very angry, and now that it has sort of shaken off the pain of those blasts, is right back on your tail.
Kill it with fire.
Yes. Any particular weaknesses that they might have at this stage?
None that you are aware of from the literature, no.
Okay.
So,
Oh, I know what this creature is. It is a larval sarlacc. Unfortunately, I do not know if they have any kind of weakness. Please keep on shooting it.
Silith will line up for another shot.
Okay, Rory, what are you doing?
I'm driving towards that rocky terrain. Hopefully, I can cut through it and either stop this thing from chasing us or make it ram into a rock or something.
Okay, at this point, with, again, sort of thick black smoke continuing to plume out of the side of the speeder, you manage to make it just inside the sort of the threshold, essentially, of this rocky outcropping. And you see you have 2 options. One, you can let the speeder sort of putter out in the middle of this rocky outcropping, which will give you an opportunity to get out of the speeder and find less than ideal cover behind some rather small-looking boulders. Or you can immediately hook a left or a right and, as you said, essentially crash the speeder into the area so that you can have a better chance at cover, but possibly hurt yourselves in the process.
Oh no, I don't want to crash the speeder. I want it to crash.
Well, then you're going to have to make a particularly good driving check if that's what you want to do. But that is a possibility.
Because it is going through the sand, and we are going on top of the sand. So I'm hoping it will like smash into some rocks.
All right, well then give me a driving check, and let's see how this pulls out. Now you will be at disadvantage because right now the speeder is fighting you.
Sure. All right, 14 with a 6 on the wild die. Or destiny die, sorry.
A 6, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you, with the last bit of juice that the speeder has, you sort of crank the throttle. You begin to, at a blistering 40 miles an hour, you are heading towards this small crop of rocks. And at the last minute, of course, you tug on the controls, intending to sort of swerve off to the right, but you find that the controls are no longer responding to your inputs, and you end up striking the rocks at a sort of a diagonal angle, the bottom of the speeder scraping against the rocks, creating sparks and kicking up dust and sand. You end up, thankfully, scraping along the side and not hurting anybody inside, other than being a little bit shaken. But it's clear that with the scouring done to the bottom of the speeder, and of course the damage that already internally it's suffering from, this thing just slides along the desert floor out in this rocky outcropping, and then just stops. However, you hear behind that same larval sarlacc chasing after you, there's a sort of a heavy thudding noise, and again another one of those low growls, as you see that it's perhaps not too perceptive, and it managed to ram its head into that small outcropping. You can see right now that it has begun to, again, surface from the sand, and it seems to be, well, it's difficult to tell given that it doesn't have any eyes or, conventional facial expressions, but it appears to be kind of disoriented. It's moving around in a way that seems to indicate it's off balance or possibly dazed.
All right. And we're about halfway to Isri's ship.
That's right, yeah. Well, at this point, you're a little bit more than halfway. You're maybe 2/3 of the way.
Yeah, my concern is I don't think we can make it.
Well, it seems like the speeder's not responding at all, so until you get it repaired...
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah. Looks like you're
How far
on
away
foot.
is this thing?
Sorry, go ahead.
So how far away is this young sarlacc?
It is, let's see. It's about 5 meters away from you.
Okay, so it's on one side of the rocks and we're on the other, so we got a little bit of protection.
Yes,
That's my new rap name, Young Sarlacc.
Young Sarlacc.
Yeah.
Straight out of Mos Eisley.
Sarlacc pupil P.
Yeah, you know me. Yeah. So there's just a little bit of cover because of some rocky sort of formations there between the two of you, but this thing could very easily slither over it and devour you guys whole. So go ahead, Silith.
I will drop my blaster pistol in the speeder and hop out, pull out my vibro axe, and charge.
Okay, give me an attack, please.
All right.
I guess we're stopping.
Looks like it.
4 stop.
Oh my goodness. 6 with a 1 on the destiny die.
Ooh, okay.
roll up a new character.
So nothing so bad as that, but so you grab the vibro axe that you, I believe, acquired from Jumka. So you rush forward. You've got it held in a sort of a horizontal fashion, intending to sort of slash this thing across the disgusting pink meat of it. And you let out a bit of a war cry, and you swing the axe, and you find that about halfway through your swing, the vibro axe curiously stops. And you notice that just at that moment, the larval sarlacc's maw has clamped over it and is essentially ripped it out of your hands. It is now like inside the Sarlacc's mouth, and with a quick sort of jerk and gurgle, the axe is inside the Sarlacc's maw, and then its esophagus, and then its body.
Oh no!
I am making a note. They are not vulnerable to vibroaxis.
Well, not in a digestive sense, anyway.
They rather prefer them.
Seeing how Sylth charged forward, I'm just going to go ahead and leap off and charge forward and make a swing with my sword.
Okay, please do.
$20.
Nice. A 20 definitely hits.
Okay.
Oh no, it doesn't hit. Yeah, it bounces off. Your weapon explodes in your hands. No, it definitely hits.
$24 points of damage.
Nice. Okay, so, Mr. Sassasul Ebenvar, please describe how you kill this thing.
Ooh.
Sorry, I was not expecting that.
So
I-
you get tuberculosis first.
I hop down off the speeder, run forward, and trying to recover the vibroaxe if I can. I'm gonna stab into its belly-ish area and just rip open.
Okay. Yeah, so you take
Got it.
you essentially, you shove in and twist and turn, and you can see this sort of almost like a hot butter through knife. Yes, of course. A hot butter knife through butter. The flesh of this monster begins to sear and open up, and you cut and cut and cut, and all of this sort of this disgusting viscera is coming out, staining your trousers, and surely enough, you see the vibroaxe kind of tumble out on a river of what looks like intestine or something. There's a last low, hollow howling noise, and then you see that this larval sarlacc flops and loses all life. It goes limp.
Starving works.
Well, now you know your weakness, Doctor.
Yep. Pointy shit.
Arthas is just amazed. He walks over to Sasusul and says, "Holy, what was that?"
The Sarlacc?
No,
A Vavi.
this good at killing desert monsters, kid.
I don't know. I guess everybody has a knack for something, right?
I will make sure to ask you to assist me in any surgery.
It's one hell of a knack. Tell you what.
I don't know what you mean. I mean, Sylith killed the spider.
You can see as the wind sort of begins to settle, and the hecticness of the chase and the quick burst of violence is beginning to subside. You hear a curious noise over the light wind of the daytime desert. You hear
What?
I'm trying to figure out the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah, are you making like some kind of low rumbling sound? Because like we can't hear it.
Yep.
well, damn it! You hear a snoring noise.
Oh no.
Oh,
Look around.
find me on Alderaan. This is bad.
While they're doing that, I'm going to assess the controls on the speeder, see if I can at least get it to steer again.
Give me a vehicles check, please.
EA team. I'm gonna try this roller.
Can I assist him?
Do you have anything in vehicles?
No, just the base.
Just the base. So if you don't have any full dice in the relevant skill, your assistance would be nothing.
Okay.
So, those of you who hear sort of this loud snoring noise, as you're sort of looking around trying to pinpoint, oh no, what sort of fresh hell is headed our way now, you realize that the snoring is coming from the inside of the speeder.
Oh God.
Okay.
As you
It's Commander Isri.
as you creep forward, you can see that, sure enough, Commander Isri is reclined in the back of the speeder and is dead asleep.
So he slept through the whole thing.
Guys,
Well, I'm just gonna look. Right. I'm just gonna look at Pontus, raise my finger up in a motion, and I want to try to communicate to pick Commander Isri up without waking him, and roll him in the Starlight Guts.
Like Pontus, like he's just going to make a sweep his hands to the side in a no motion.
So, Rory.
Yeah,
what
I
was your-
join.
what
The
was your
doctor
ve-
joins in and shake his head too.
I got a 28.
There was a 28 on the vehicles check. Very good. Okay. Yeah,
Nice.
thankfully, you've been around enough of this sort of basic speeder and repulsor technology that this thing is essentially put together with, chewing gum and baling wire as it is. So it seems a almost child's play to sort of get this thing moving again, but it is going to take some time. You're going to have to, break out, of course, the speeder toolkit that you got from the governor's supplies. And it's going to take about, you reckon, about an hour and a half to get this thing fixed up again?
Uh-oh.
Ooh, yay.
I will pass on to the team. It's going to take about an hour and a half to at least get it steering.
What?
Good to know.
That is bad.
Now, I guesstimate we're about 2/3 of the way there, but on foot.
No, the distance
no.
is not too great.
It's probably more than an hour and a half on foot, so I am going to start working on this.
Okay, yeah. You
Sure.
break out the speeder toolkit and get to work. You open up essentially the hood of this thing and start to get to work on the guts.
Eep, tools!
Eep is beginning to sort of toss you, spanner and electro wrench and all manner of things.
I'm gonna get closer to the remains of the Sarlacc
Mhm.
and take a look. I'm not gonna poke much, but I'm just gonna take a look for science.
Sure, for science. Yeah, you are able to see a great view of a creature that very few people have had an opportunity to examine up close and report their findings back. Yeah, so again, you see sort of this long. You're looking at least 45, maybe 50 meters of long, fleshy, pink, bloodied worm flesh. A lot of these sort of tentacles coming off of it at odd angles, and these teeth-like spines, some of which are still left in the body of this thing. The big, open, rounded maw with the giant tongue. And sure enough, you can see, again, the innards of this thing have spilled out on the sands of the wasteland and are actually steaming. Like, you can actually see sort of a little bit of vapor sort of coming up off of them now that they're exposed to the air.
Interesting.
Would you like to take a sample?
No, but I will use my. Do I have a camera in this thing?
What do you have?
Now, does the data pad have a camera? If it's just a regular one?
The data pad is just a data pad.
Okay, so I'll just take some notes.
Well, I
Yeah.
have a combi comp if you want to borrow it. It has a camera on it.
Yes, the Combicom
Oh,
does
yeah,
have one
that-
built in. Yeah.
That would be most useful to take some pictures.
Yeah, it has a comm link, a holovid, a projector. Oh, I'm sorry, a holovid projector, a scanner, which is basically a camera, and a recorder. Oh, I'm sorry, a scan recorder. There we go, which is a camera.
Oh, you're far too kind, Mr. Ken.
So, Doctor, you get up next to the remains of the larval sarlacc and take a quick selfie.
Yeah, I'll take some pictures of the innards and everything, and make some field notes.
Sure. Yeah. Sounds good.
Not my area of expertise, but it is nice to look at something like this closer.
Can I take one of the teeth that was shooting out at us?
Yes,
If
absolutely.
there's
Yeah,
room within-
there are still some.
Cool.
There are some embedded into the speeder, and then there are some that are still on the body of the larval sarlacc.
Luckily, there's none embedded in the commander.
Right.
That you can tell.
Cool,
Yeah.
I'll take a couple of those.
Yeah, you grab a handful of these teeth spines.
Maybe he's not snoring; he's deflating.
That could be. He's certainly full of hot air.
Quick, somebody take a look. Maybe.
So
Yeah, I'll take a look to see if he's not injured.
Yeah, so you, after taking your notes, Doctor, you make your way back to the speeder. You can see Roy hard at work getting the engine and the controls of the speeder working again. And you sort of peek your head over the rear of the speeder, and you can see that Commander Isri's chest is very slowly rising and falling. It seems like he's breathing fine, and he is just deep in the middle of a nice sleep.
Great, I'll leave him be then.
Okay, what's everybody else doing at the moment?
I mean, after taking a couple of teeth, I'll keep watch, just to make sure nothing sneaks up on us.
Okay, sounds good.
Silith will butcher the sarlacc if he finds any especially meaty parts.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of meat on that there bone. You're also, of
Yeah, we
course,
have
able to
that.
recover your vibroaxe as well.
An added bonus.
Slimy, but still working.
We have that set of macro binoculars that you can use.
Yeah, I'll use those. I almost
Okay.
forgot about those.
Sasasul, then give me a perception check, please. Or I should say a search check, really.
Search.
Well, hold on. Let me think here. You're just kind of getting a lay of the land, so just a perception check. But please do so with
Okay.
advantage because you've got the macro binoculars on you.
Which is an extra.
Extra die.
Dice?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. 16.
16. Very good. Okay, you get a little bit on top of a nearby rock, just to get a little bit of elevation. You get the macro binoculars out. You scan the horizon. Everything seems to be peaceful right now.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm working on the vehicle, so I was just waiting on you guys.
Yeah.
You said everything seems peaceful, right? And then
Yeah.
nobody said.
Well, everybody was just very comforted by the fact that it seemed peaceful.
The sigh of relief.
Yeah, they all just took a deep breath and enjoyed themselves for a moment.
Pontus, I suppose he'll take out his macro binoculars and have a look at the horizon as well. How much else
Okay.
for him to do?
So, Pontus, you get out your macro binoculars. You find yourself sort of diagonal to Sasasul, trying to cover a generally a different area. You grab your macro binoculars and you take a look. You scan the horizon, and sure enough, you hear another approaching kind of rumbling sound. At first, you think it's just Commander Isri continuing to sort of snore in your ears. But it very quickly becomes a roaring noise, and then an almost a screeching, screaming sort of noise. And you realize that it's coming from the skies above you.
Get to cover. Get to cover.
What? Oh,
So, Pontus, you have time to just sort of drop down and sort of roll behind a rock before the area around the speeder sort of lights up with laser cannon fire. You can see those green trails of hot energy firing and kicking up dust and sand around the speeder, hitting rocks on the side, and creating a sense of chaos around you. Very quickly, that same sort of scream comes to a crescendo, and it screeches over you. And you can see that there is some kind of... you, Pontus, of all people, would recognize this. You see that there is some kind of TIE model that has just swooped over you and at a high speed and is now hooking around and coming back for another pass.
TIE fighter?
You can actually give me a vehicles check if you like to try to pinpoint it. It's not a TIE fighter exactly. It's some kind of other model.
Vehicle check, 4 dice. As he's looking, Pontus is going to say, "What's the Empire doing out here?" All right, that's a 12.
Out of character, I don't think it's the Empire anymore.
Nah, probably a TIE interceptor though.
I think it's the First Order.
Well, yes, it is. It would be the First Order at this point in time. But, I mean, the Empire is shorthand for
No problem.
whatever whatever new,
Facious.
whatever new jerks are in the area. Yeah.
It's a TIE. Close enough to.
Okay, so
Evil people in dark uniforms that make trains run on time.
so Pontus, you see this craft, and you can see that I've posted it in the channel there. You see this craft has screamed over you. You don't recall exactly the name of the model, but you know that it's a class of TIE fighter that it's less of a fighter and more of a lander. In fact, you could probably categorize this as a drop ship, maybe a troop carrier of some kind. You remember this particular model from your time working as a stormtrooper, that they were using these on Scarif back during the Galactic Civil War, and this seems to have been kept in pretty decent condition, decent enough to sort of swoop over you and fire lasers. And of course, this thing has again swooped around and is beginning another sort of firing run towards you.
Did
You have
post a
maybe
picture?
seconds. Yes, I did.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's an
seeing
RP
one.
area too.
It's in
area.
RP Area 2.
Okay.
This is a Reaper, right?
Yes, out of game. This is a TIE Reaper.
Yeah, I've got the the X-Men miniature game ship.
Right, yeah.
The Doctor just knows it's a ship.
So you all have a few seconds before this thing lights up the rocky outcropping again. What do you guys do?
Oh, I'm gonna take cover.
Okay,
And
good.
After it passes, I'm gonna take a shot at it, see what happens. So after this next little run, I'm just gonna shoot off, see if I can get them away or whatever.
Take a quick pot shot.
I don't
Sure.
know what I'm doing. It's a ship.
Okay.
I'm used to fleshy things.
So, well, it's in the desert, and maybe it counts as a desert animal. You're gonna kill it.
He has a bonus. I'm gonna take cover as well.
Okay. Anyone not taking cover? I have to ask.
No, Silith will be diving.
I will take cover long enough for it to pass, and then I will run back out and, basically try to keep working on this speeder,
Sure. Yeah.
and unless it gets exploded.
Right. Ooh.
Pontus is glued to his rock.
Would that initial blast woken up Commander Isri?
You expected it to, but impossibly, the man is still asleep in the back of this speeder. It is. If you didn't know any better, Sazasul, you would think that he was in some kind of force trance.
Coma.
Oh,
Okay.
and when I run the take cover, I'm gonna grab what I can, like the supplies that we got, the extra power packs, the med kits, stuff like that. That should all be in like a big duffel bag.
Right.
I will grab that and press.
So you, Rory, as you see this thing screaming towards you guys again, ready for another firing run, you grab a hold of the duffel bag that's sort of full of your supplies. You're able to yank that out of the speeder and dive for cover just as you hear the same and this same screaming, screeching noise as the the TIE Reaper soars over you, and you, with a pit of dread in your stomach, you hear one of the lasers strike something hard and metal and explosive, and you see that the speeder is engulfed in a ball of flame.
Oh, joy.
Fuck.
Pontus yells, "Oh, come on!"
Again, rock has been kicked up, sand has been kicked up. The wind is, you're being sort of chafed as the pressure and fury of this thing shooting over you is whipping at your skin and almost sort of partially blinding you as sand is being hurled along. You can see again it makes a sort of a hook in the air, but this time does not begin another firing run. This time you can see that it's actually slowed down, and it looks like it's beginning some kind of landing sequence.
Pontus is going to yell, "That's transport. It's going to let out troopers. Get ready to shoot."
Now,
Hearing that-
Sasasul, did you want to try to peg the ship still?
Hearing him yell, "Get ready to shoot," I'm just gonna wait for something to come out aggressive.
Okay.
I am going to stay right under cover with my monkey. Me and my monkey.
I'm going to tell Eep to collect what tools he can, or she can. And I'm going to see if that knucklehead is still in the speeder. If he is, I'm going to try to drag him to cover.
Give him
He's
the
still
good doctor.
alive.
Isri. Hopefully he's awake by now.
Well, we don't hear screaming.
So the speeder, as it was hit by the blaster fire, sort of like crashed off to the side and tipped over, and there was a big ball of flame. You see that, sure enough, Isri's slightly singed, slightly smoky form is on the desert floor nearby. Seems to have been kicked, far enough away from the craft not to be too seriously injured, but his eyes are wide and he is looking groggy, possibly concussed, as he's sort of, oh, what the hell is?
Come on, Isri, let's get to cover. And
Where?
I will grab him and kind
He
of
grabs a hold of your shoulder.
Yeah, kind of do the, throw one arm over my shoulder and kind of drag him to cover.
Yeah, he grabs a hold of your shoulder and unsteadily sort of walks with you to cover. Sure enough, you see that the TIE Reaper has finished its landing process. The I was going to say gangplank. That's not really what that is. The loading ramp has finally opened and strikes the desert floor with a thud. And this is considerably far away from you guys. I mean, this thing is not sort of parked right next to you. It's you're probably looking at about maybe 20 meters away. So it's landed, and you can see walking down the landing ramp is a strange-looking figure. There's this creature is wearing some kind of mask, some kind of full face mask, and he seems to be, or I should say it, I suppose, or they, seem to be holding some young-looking human at gunpoint, specifically with a gun to the back, is essentially walking him down the landing ramp. You can see that it's very clear that this creature with a mask that's holding this young man at gunpoint is tall and thin, and the mask is shaped in such a way as it sort of accentuates this long-looking snout that this creature has.
A kubas.
and this creature, again, is sort of walking this young man. Looks like a human man, probably in his early 20s. Walking him down. He looks beat up, bruised, his clothing tattered, and it's clear that he's been shackled and gagged, and he's being walked towards you at blaster point by this mysterious figure.
Does Silith recognize him?
Give me a perception check, please.
Right. $20 with all sixes.
Jesus
Nice.
Christ.
You have to look for 5 seconds before you immediately recognize that is Garl Montrose. The same young man that you gave the business to.
Yes.
He's looking very much alive.
Well, he was alive before. They just said he was put in a coma.
All right.
And I'm guessing the man with the blaster is Medjev.
No. You know what Medjev looks like. He's a Trandoshan, right? The classic sort of tall lizard man. But no, this is a completely different person.
Oh. Well, let's not get too hasty. That's the governor's son.
As the two begin to again continue to walk down the desert towards the rocky outcropping, you hear a rough, scratchy, almost digitized voice call out from the tall, thin, snouted one. Lower your weapons. Do it.
I have not come out of the hiding place.
I
Yeah,
was gonna
neither
say
do
I don't have a weapon drawn, so I can't lower mine.
I don't have mine out either.
I have a
There's-
blaster drawn, but I had taken cover, so I'm not sure if I'm hidden from him or what's going on with that.
He that is not easily discernible. I mean, it's clear that he's aware that there are people, you know, in the distance where you
Right.
were. I mean, he of course shot the speeder and shot at someone in there, but whether or not he can actually see you guys is another thing entirely.
Yep.
Silith will just stand up from his crouching behind a rock, no weapons drawn. Just wait.
So, by the way, I'm posting a little picture here. This is the figure that is coming towards you
Ooh.
with a strange-looking
Plague doctor.
mechanical mask. Yeah, it does kind of resemble a plague doctor in a way.
It looks like the
Yeah.
guy from episode 4. Cool.
I think those species are called kubas.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Akuba's snout fits in that beak.
Possible.
Can I try to discern their species by any kind of body language or characteristics or something?
Yeah, give me a xenology. It'll be a little bit more difficult than if you could just sort of look
Sure.
at the creature, right? Yeah.
This is a 15.
15. Yeah, if you had to guess, because of the facial structure, the tall, thin sort of quality of this creature, and the fact that it is, active and sort of a desert planet like this and seems to be, uninhibited by it. Probably Akubaz is probably the best sort of guess you could make. Now, that's
Okay.
not to say that it's the only sort of snouted sort of species
But it's
out there.
the most likely possibility.
Yeah, from what you're looking at, you're like, yeah, that's probably a Kubaz. I mean, they work as mercenaries all the time. It's entirely possible that like one of them has been hired to do some kind of shenanigans with Garl Montrose.
Sure thing.
I'm going to bring the boy, and you are going to remain where you are. If you move, if you show any violence towards me whatsoever, this fool is vaporized.
Pontus is going to look over at Zazu and say, "Who's this clown?"
And why is he bringing somebody we don't really care about?
It is most likely a Kuvats.
I mean, out of character, he's most likely using him as bait because, well, they can always just blame us for the governor's kid's death. One of us already roughed him up.
True.
You can see at this point that now the masked figure and Garl have now mostly crossed the empty space between the rocky outcropping and the landed TIE Reaper, and now you are a matter of 3 maybe meters away. He's stopped. It's clear that the masked creature is using Garl as a kind of a shield, right?
Yep.
And sort of shouting, things and demands from behind Garl's back.
Come out! Slowly!
Silith will come out and get up front, kind of watching the other party members, because if he sees something about to happen, he's going to punch this guy in the head.
I'm assuming right now I don't have visual line of sight on his blaster.
Yeah, from where you guys are sort of cropped, down in cover near the inside this rocky outcropping, you're basically seeing like a straight on view, with a plus or minus a few degrees, right, of this guy and Garl. Yeah, Garl is obscuring mostly the figure.
Figures. I just want to. I don't want to see if I can remain hidden, but I just want to see if I can get line of sight with his blast without being seen. I think I want to try the latter. So yeah, let's try to see if I can get visual line of sight of that blaster.
Okay, make a stealth check for me, please. Or stalk,
That
I should
is
say.
Stalk. Cool.
Yes,
I have
stalk.
5D of that. 6. 24.
24. Very nice. Yeah, so you are pretty, you seem pretty confident that you can sort of, as you crouch down and very slowly sort of snake your way across the sand off to a slightly more distant rock formation, you're pretty confident that this guy can't see you, as his attention is fully turned towards, the burning speeder area, we'll call it.
Right. All right, cool.
This is your final warning. Stand and produce yourselves.
How close does Silith get before he tells him he doesn't need to move any further? Because I said I would walk right up to him.
Yeah, so you slowly come out. Are you doing so with your hands above your head? Are you at your side? What's your nature? What's your posture?
The hands at my shoulders. I'm not going to give him the benefit to raise them all the way up, but I don't have any weapons drawn.
So you're slowly walking forward?
Yeah, I'll walk to where he and the other guy is.
You get within about a meter of them, and you see that Garl sort of jerks forward a little bit as if he's been shoved in the back slightly. And you hear that same scratchy, digitized voice.
Not any further. The kid gets it.
Then I will stand there and wait for something to happen.
Where's the rest of your crew?
Well, you did blow up our speeder.
Are you kidding me? I saw you lot escape from what looked like a Sarlacc child. It's gonna take more than a couple of blasts from this thing to destroy you guys. Now the speeder, piece of shit.
All right, Pontus is going to holster his blaster, stand up from the rocks, and say, "All right, enough of the flattery. Who are you, and which two-bit Imperial junta do you work for?"
You can see that the figure kind of peers slightly around Garl, just to kind of get a better look at you, Pontus. And there's a moment of hesitation, and then you hear the voice say,
ISO. You old son of a bitch. What the hell are you doing here?
Trying to make some money. You're not helping.
Well, if you're interested in a quick payday, you should have signed up with the boys in the First Order. They're printing out pretty nice paychecks, I gotta say.
Oh, so that's the one you're working for, right? Not sure about those paychecks, though. Imperial Remnant, not as rich as the Bounty Hunting Commission or anything like that.
What the hell do you know? You're just a washed-up grunt.
What the hell do you know? You're out here in this hellhole.
So, Sasasul, you've managed to,
Yeah.
again, sort of rotate slightly out, and you're getting a better look at the creature right now. The tall, thin, masked one. You can see that he is holding what looks like if you had to guess, probably a holdout blaster. A pretty short, kind of stubby blaster, directly towards what you'd probably guess is like spinal cord area of Garl, right?
Okay.
At a point where the shot would either kill him or seriously cripple him.
Okay. But I can clearly see the blaster.
Yes, but also you notice that slung across the figure's back is what looks like some kind of... Well, give me an armaments check.
Armament. Where? Oh,
That would be that's under technical.
Yep. First thing. 2D. I am on fire. That's a 9 with a 6 in the destiny die.
Okay, so you're not very practiced in terms of weapons exactly.
No.
Other than the ones you use, right?
Right.
But you can see that this figure, you don't know what the hell it takes, but you know that it's designed to shoot a thing a really far distance
And make holes in people.
Okay. Cool.
If you had to guess, it's some kind of... It's not a rifle. It's not a blaster pistol. It's some kind of, launcher thing? It's difficult to nail down.
No.
Can't be the launcher thing.
Yeah. How much area would it... How long would it take for me to... While he's distracted with Pontus talking and conversing back and forth, how... Can I get behind him?
The area where the TIE Reaper has landed and sort of the distance between the Reaper and the figure and Garl is just out in open desert. So you'd have to be pretty damn stealthy to sneak up behind it.
Yeah.
It's possible, but very difficult. Because you'll just have to be walking or crouch walking essentially without cover.
You know what? How I've been rolling, I'm feeling it.
Okay. Make it happen.
Another stalk?
Yes, that would be another stalk roll.
I'm about to do something stupid too.
Remember the force point, boys.
So, I'm going to take a picture of this. Just so y'all are saying that I'm not lying. It's
Sure,
all
yeah.
6s.
Nice. So what is that
Really?
in total?
30.
30.
Nice.
Wow. Very
6 in the
good.
destiny about it, yeah. Here, I'm putting it on RP area 2 after it finally loads.
Yeah, I want to see this.
After you've turned them all to 6. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Okay.
So with that frankly incredible, and I mean that in the literal sense. It's not credible.
Yes.
With that incredible roll,
I'm shaking.
you are one with the sand. The spirit of the larval sarlacc has entered your body. It is now your spirit animal. As you crouch
I am
down
the
to the bottom
sand
of the
people.
sand and snake your way in total defiance of anyone's observations, making your way behind the figure and Garl.
He is Muad'Dib. He is Lisan al-Gaib. He is the voice of the outside world.
Fear is the mind killer. It's the little death.
He knows the desert without learning of it.
So, We're kind of crossing
am
our
the sun people.
streams here. So everyone else who is watching this scene, from the rocky outcropping, is seeing Sasasul basically like crouch, almost like duck walking, essentially, in a wide arc towards the TIE Reaper, and neither Garl nor the masked figure is even twitching in that direction.
He has on his special elf cloak.
I'm sure I would never do this again.
He looks like a tumbleweed.
It's a +2 boots of stalking motion. Yes. So, yeah. So you're all pretty stunned by the fact that Sasasul is just walking out in the middle of the desert and seeming to make his way stealthily. The masked figure continues to sort of harass you, Pontus.
At least I'm out here making credits and doing a good job of it too. You're almost getting eaten by worms and moving around in this piece of shit speeder. Are you kidding me? How far you've fallen.
Lest I remember, you're not the one who killed this baby Sarlacc.
Oh, you killed a baby Sarlacc. Oh, isn't that precious?
Yeah, that TIE Reaper's precious. What, do you get that from Imperial surplus?
Hey, Hex, with that roll, he could be using the worm. He's hiding behind the worm, because you said it's like 500 meters long, right?
It's 50 meters long.
Or 50 meters still.
But
I mean,
it's pretty long, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
long enough to get him to the TIE Reaper out there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
conceivable,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he could be skulking behind the worm.
Although
That's what I was gonna do, but then he rolled
Yeah.
all sixes, and I'm like, okay.
Granted,
No,
but I
no,
do
it's
like
fine,
the
man.
image of him just literally walking out in the middle of the desert.
Yes, that's better.
He had to whistle to make it work.
Right. Yeah, he's just got his hands in his pockets. Yeah. So, the masked figure responds. He seems to be a little irritated.
No, you idiot. This fine piece of engineering came straight from Komodo Company. From Captain Shipley himself.
Who?
Oh, right.
Right.
You only deal with irate farmers and the people who are scared of a Trandoshan on a itching fest.
And you deal with someone who only deals with farmers.
What'd you say that name was again?
Are you saying that in character, or are you asking me?
I'm sorry, out of character. Captain
Shipley, so it's Shiplai.
Thank you.
Yeah, he mentioned a Captain Shipley and Komodo Company, like the Komodo dragon.
Yeah, so I'm taking some notes here.
All right, enough of this banter.
Oh, no, I'd love to continue this banter, Mr.
You don't remember me. It's
No.
it's Noxix, you idiot.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. I forgot. That's how little I care about you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, smell that desperation.
How
I smell it off of you, Noxix.
how tall is his hostage compared to him? Are they equal height? Is he taller? Why, like,
He is definitely taller. So
okay,
this
cool.
Sorry, hold on, give me just a second. This figure, everything in the desert dies once more. This figure is like 7.5 feet tall. The masked
Ooh.
figure.
Yes.
The human man is, you'd probably say, about 5'9".
Okay.
So you got some room to shoot, if that's what you're thinking.
What are you thinking?
Sure.
Besides Arby's, we know you're thinking Arby's, obviously, all the time.
Yeah. This is very stupid and might get the hostage killed if I'm not able to pull this off. I want to be able to get point blank range of him.
Well, with that 30 in stealth, I can guarantee you that you're going to do a really good job.
Okay, yeah, I want to get in point blank range, and the hype comes in because I just want to point blank range as many shots I can fire into the back of his head while he's mid conversation. I just want to end this quick.
Okay, so
Pulp Fiction style.
as the conversation continues between Pontus and Noxix, you are able to sort of get yourself positioned. You're actually leaning against one of the metal sort of supports that lower the Reaper's landing ramp down, and you're sort of using that to steady yourself and getting your what are you wielding? Just a blaster pistol? Or?
Sporting blaster.
Sporting blaster, yeah. So you line that up, you sort of crook your elbow against the steel there to give you just a little bit more steadiness, and aim at the back of his head. And you can see that Noxus is going on and on. He eventually says,
Look, enough. I want Isri. You bring him out here, you walk him down, and you can have this little piece of shit.
Isri? Who's Isri?
Oh, don't play dumb with me. You think I haven't been tracking you? You think I don't know what goes on at Bugakant?
I'm not playing dumb. I don't know who Isri is.
Oh, right, you are dumb.
Yeah,
And with-
I guess so.
and with that, as Noxix is laughing in this sort of gritty, raspy way, Sasusul, you are able to take a shot. So please do roll to hit. It's going to be a blast check. It's going to be trivially easy, but still.
Right. Advantage, just regular blast check?
Just a regular blast check.
Okay. It's still 5D.
Now, you said you wanted to shoot a couple times? So each time you shoot, it's minus
Yeah,
1D, so you could shoot like 3 times and roll 2d6 on all.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So it just
Okay.
depends on how many times you want to actually shoot.
Because all you got to do is figure your chances of getting. You're at what?
5D.
Point blank range, so you're probably looking at a 3 to a 5 difficulty.
So yeah, if I take 3 shots, that brings it down to 2D or 3D?
2D. Well, 3D, sorry.
Yeah,
3D.
so
Okay.
so since you're taking
three
three
shots, so
actions,
minus 2.
yeah, minus 2.
Yeah.
So for you, that would be
Okay.
3 dice left, right?
6.
Or you could do another shot and drop it down to 2D.
Right.
Because
First
like
shot's
I said,
14.
you gotta. He said it's trivial, so you gotta figure you're looking at probably a max of 5 difficulty.
Right. I'll just take 3 shots.
And
First
you
one's
got a
a
force.
14.
And you got a force point.
Yeah, I know.
Although using a force point to assassinate someone might not be good.
Yeah, I would think that
Yeah.
there would be there'd be some trouble with that, morality wise.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was that first shot?
First shot was 14.
Okay, second.
Second shot is a 13 with a 6 in the destiny die.
6, huh? Okay, good. And the third shot.
$10.
10. Okay, so roll damage just once for each of those shots. Well, actually,
Okay.
like roll damage once, and that'll be the damage done by each shot. You didn't say.
Okay, that the one with the 6 was just maxed out damage, right?
Yes.
So that's already 3d.
So that would be what,
So
18?
18.
Yeah.
Yeah. 11. 13.
Okay. So that's 13 twice. It's 26 plus 18. So that is 44, right?
Yes.
Yes, 44. Okay. And minus the old soak. And let's see here. It's not going to look good for him. I can go ahead and let you know that now.
Okay.
I just, thought you should be aware.
It's good
I
he's doing total instead of rolling against each shot. So you have a chance of exploding his head.
Chunky salsa. Chunky salsa. Chunky salsa.
For self-defense.
Come on. Another desert
Okay.
creature down. Come on.
So, you steady that sporting blaster, and as he is cackling raspily, you 3 bolts go out. 1 strikes the back of his neck, and the last 2, in a kind of a tight cluster, strike the back of his head. There's a sizzling noise, and very quickly you see that you hear that raspy laughter immediately cut off, and this figure just slumps to the ground. You very quickly see Garl, who is still, shackled and gagged, sort of quickly hop spin around to see what's going on. He sees you, and his eyes sort of widen up, and you can see him trying to say something through the gag, but it's very clearly thankful.
I'll holster my
Rory is
blaster,
going
walk
to
up to him
start
and tie him.
sprinting towards the TIE Reaper.
All right.
Yeah, so I don't know anything about ships. I'm just going to. Well, we have a ship now, and
Yeah.
deal with the prisoner.
Okay. So you make your way forward. Sorry, go ahead, Silith.
Oh, I was just going to make sure that he's disarmed, maybe remove his helmet, make sure he doesn't have anything else on him in case he's still alive.
Sure.
Yeah, I think he might be very well dead.
So
I'm gonna-
so Rory and Silith, you guys are, jogging out towards the ship, right? Pontus, what are you doing?
I'm going to run over and just grab all of Noxix's weapons.
So, the 3 of you start jogging towards the ship. Sasasul, you make your way over to a grateful-looking Garl and begin removing his manacles. And as you're sort of adjusting the mechanism, trying to get it to release, you hear Garl go.
Oh no, I was doing the gag first.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. So you remove the gag,
Smart.
and you can hear. He instantly says, "Oh, thank you very much. Who sent you? Did my father send you?" There's a sudden
Father?
blankness in his face as he is now staring out behind you. His jaw is wide open.
What is it?
Silith.
I'll look behind me.
So you
Is
guys.
it just Silith?
No, it is not Silith. So Silith, Rory, the Doctor, Pontus, they are all heading towards you. You can see that in your peripheral vision. But you turn, Sasasul, and you can see that now, marching down the ramp of the TIE Reaper, are 5 First Order stormtroopers.
That's what I was afraid of, and that's why I was charging to kind of offer
Yeah,
some aid.
actually, the doctor still had not moved.
Okay, yeah,
No.
all right. So yeah, the Doctor's still out.
Not good.
They're outcropping. And with Garl just slack-jawed and panicked, and you seeing the white and black mass of these First Order stormtroopers clanking down the ramp of the TIE Reaper. That's where we're going to end our session tonight.
Ooh, boy.
Oh my god.
Ooh. Plot thickens.
Yeah.
The thick plot.
At least it's only 5 stormtroopers.
Yeah, there's
they're
only 5 of
additional
us, and some of us can't shoot to save our life.
Yep.
That's why we have our stormtrooper. Bounty
That's
hunter.
why we have the guys who killed giant monsters with hand weapons.
Yeah, what have you got to be afraid of?
I
All
feel,
right.
I feel pretty safe.
I have a blast of 2D, guys.
Oh, blast 60.
I have a blast of 5D.
Yeah, boy.
Now I have a vehicles
I'm
of
very
60
desperate.
because that's my bread and butter for this character.
I don't have anything at 60 yet.
Yeah.
I
All
do.
right.
I'm-
All right,
Okay.
everyone. Thank you very much for being here and you know, tonight's session. We had a nice, explosive, absurd little series of events go on here.
How did I do that?
Yes,
Thank you, Dice God.
Sasasul pulling literally everybody's weight with his incredible rolls. But let's not forget the work that everybody else did. And Commander Isri
Oh, yeah. No,
slept
yeah.
very well,
Like a baby.
like a baby.
Somehow through the first volley of blasters.
Oh, yeah.
There is one person
Almost like
less
it's magic.
useful than the Doctor in combat, the Commander.
All right, so that's our time. Thank you for coming. Thank you all who are on YouTube for listening, and we will be back again soon. So goodbye, everybody.
Subscribe, leave a comment, hit the bell.
Bye bye.
No, I don't care for that.
Thank you